Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to this latest course of ServiceNow administration. In our section 1, we have completed all the basics about ServiceNow. In today's video, we are starting the architecture of ServiceNow. I am trying to explain you in a very simple term so that it will go long with you. Okay, so before we start the session, let me share my screen and show you something. This PDI, Personal Development Instance, which is free of cost, provided by ServiceNow, and you must have it in order to practice it, whatever we are going to discuss in this complete course. Okay, so this is almost the same which ServiceNow provide to customers, but I really thank ServiceNow to provide this so that we can practice it, we can learn it. Okay, we can make master of it. So now how to get it? In order to get a free PDI, you need to go and log in into developer.servicenow.website. And in this website, you will see something like request an instance or get an instance. Because I'm already having it, that's why I'm seeing manage my instance. So something like this will come here. And this is like instance URL. Okay. So this is a URL of my instance, my PDI. This is user ID and this is the password. And this is the role which I'm getting, admin role, so that I can practice as an admin. Okay, so here you see this is of latest version, so you should also have the latest version. Okay, and these all things are installed. So basically you have to get this PDI if you really want to succeed in this job. Okay, so let's close this one. So this is PDI. Okay, now let's move to this today's lecture, that is section 2, architecture of ServiceNow. So ServiceNow high level architecture. ServiceNow can be understood in 4 simple layers. So basically when we talk about architecture, we should understand that there are 4 layers which we have to talk about. The very first one is user interface layer, that is a UI layer. Then a business layer, which also known as the application layer. Then we have the platform layer, which is known as Now Platform. And then we have the infrastructure and instance model layer. So let me go through one by one each of this layer and tell you more about it. The very first one is user interface layer. This is what end users see and interact with. So this is the layer which everyone who get the instance, okay, any user who want to use ServiceNow is looking at. It is what the end user see and interact with. Why they're interacting? In order to do something, right? So basically to do any kind of request, you have to interact with the instance, you have to interact with the system, and that layer which is totally in front of you is the user interface layer, that is UI layer. This layer include forms. So what all these things, form, list, dashboard, everything, just think of it as a layman terms. In our next session, I am going to explain each and everything of this. Okay, that is a lecture on navigation and PDI. So I will explain this logo, what is this, everything. Okay, but for architecture point of view, just think. Okay, so this UI layer contain forms, list, dashboards. Okay, dashboard, you know what is a dashboard? Workspaces, the dedicated area where a user can work or group of users can work. Then portals. Portal is what? Where you can request something. Mobile app screens. So UI layer control the presentation. Okay, so there is a slight difference between UI and the application layer that you have to understand. So let's discuss UI layer, which is a presentation. How information is displayed, how fields are arranged, and how users navigate and interact with the system. So this is how. This is my system here. This is what ServiceNow is providing for us to do the work. Okay. So how I am navigating in this particular instance. Okay. If I go here and open certain forms, okay, then how the fields are arranged. What is a mandatory field? Okay, all these UI concepts which user is seeing or which is related to presentation or displaying something is under this UI layer. The same application can be exposed to different UI, classic, form, workspace, portal, and mobile. So what is application layer? I'll understand that and then I will come to this line. Okay, so next is application layer. So listen carefully. This layer defines the business functionality provided by ServiceNow. This application layer determines what process exists and what they do, such as creating incident, resolving it, approving changes, and managing requests. It is a business logic layer. It defines feature, process, and data used by these processes. So in this particular instance, when I talk about UI layer, it is what I am seeing here. But what is the context behind it? Okay, so context behind this form is incident. This is a form of ITSM process incident, right? If I open anything else, it is the form of problem, form of change, approval of form, approval of change, approval of request. So the business context behind the UI, behind the processes is known as the application layer. Okay. So whatever we are seeing here, everything has a context, or more specifically, these are the applications which are provided by ServiceNow based on ITIL concepts so that the IT services can be delivered better in the organization. Just recall what we have understood in the very first lecture. Okay, so this is the application layer. So what I'm saying here, the same application can be exposed through different UIs, classic form, workspace, portal, and mobile. It means these all are the applications. I can open this application through various UIs. So user interface is some different thing. Okay, I can open incident from directly here. I can open incident from a portal. I can open incident from service catalog. I can open incident from my company's link. It's just a link, right? What is this? This is a kind of link. Wherever I put this link, if user click on it, an incident form will get open, right? So this is the difference between user interface layer and application layer. It is providing the functionality or the business context to the forms, to the services provided by ServiceNow, processes provided by ServiceNow. Okay, so this layer determines what process exists and what they do. Okay, so all these are what applications, or which you can say are provided by ServiceNow out of the box. So out of the box means it is provided by ServiceNow. You are not adding it. You have the option, being an admin, to add a new application, but these all applications are provided by ServiceNow itself, because they know in order to run an enterprise what all applications are needed most of the time. Okay, depends on company to company, but generally they are giving almost all which are useful. Other important applications, so all these are applications. We will understand all these applications one by one. Even we can create a custom application as well on this platform. Okay, now this is the application layer. Now let's move to the third layer, which is the platform layer. If you remember, we already discussed Now platform in the first video in a very brief, but today we discuss it more. This is the core engine on which all applications are running. So all these applications are running on Now platform. So it is the fundamental backbone of all these things which are available in front of you, all these applications. Okay, and this platform is empowering the enterprises to do more. What more? By providing various capabilities such as providing data and data models. They are providing options to save the data of your company, okay, in and relationships between these data and tables, to design the processes, to create workflows of your processes into the platform, automation, okay, to automate your processes by flow designer, business rule, client script, notification, and all. It is also providing security to the data, to your logins, okay, so that your application, your enterprise things, sensitive things will be secured from out of the world. It is also providing key capabilities of integration so that you can integrate from your application to one another application which is outside the ServiceNow, any third-party application. It is providing platform services so that you can do reporting on the data, you can maintain your CMDB. It is also now providing AI. AI is also being provided by ServiceNow so that you can use it throughout your platform and do very, very amazing things from that. Reduce your time, increase your productivity, increase your profit, everything. Okay, it is providing data storage, workflow, security, all I have explained to you, right? And most administrative configuration will take place in this layer. Yes, being an admin, you have to deal with all these things. You know, if we come here, any application, okay, if you create an incident, problem, change, or anything from, everything is going into the database, saving there. So it is a shared services kind of thing, you know. All the applications are sharing these core capabilities, okay? And these core capabilities are used to empower such applications so that things go good. Okay, so this is all about platform layer. Then we have the infrastructure layer. Okay, so infrastructure layer is underlying cloud infrastructure and the way ServiceNow provide instances. So ServiceNow obviously is a company. It is providing cloud-based solutions, and people are coming to ServiceNow as a customer and they're asking, I want to use your service. How they are giving the services? They are giving as a software as a service. So if we talk about this instance, in our developer.servicenow.com, we just ask them to provide this, and they have provided it. They have provided the URL. So you need an internet connection to use it, okay, and then user ID and password. Once you log in, you will be able to access all this and configure according to you, right? So this is software as a service because we need URL and we need an internet connection to use ServiceNow things, to use ServiceNow products, okay, ServiceNow instance. So ultimately, how ServiceNow is able to do that? They are able to do that because they have a huge infrastructure. They have data center, cloud provider, server, storage, networking, high availability, backup, disaster recovery, everything. Huge infrastructure investment is there by ServiceNow, and that's why they are able to provide services to you as a software as a service. Administrator do not access or manage this directly. Yes, we cannot touch the things which are in ServiceNow. We cannot, do the configurations inside the data center. What we can do, being an admin, we are only able to manage this, okay, these applications and empower these applications by using ServiceNow provided Now platform. And ultimately, this Now platform is supported by obviously infrastructure. Without infrastructure, how ServiceNow is able to give all these things? As simple as that, okay? And now, how ServiceNow is giving these instances? It is multi-instance architecture. So whenever a customer reaches ServiceNow for services, they provide minimum three, at least three, of kind of this architecture. Okay, this architecture. They give three instances: development, test instance, and production instance. Development is where we do development. Then test is just for UAT and testing purpose. Once you do development here, then you move it to test. And then finally, once you are ready, everything is configured properly, you are confident that it is ready for deployment, ready to come live, then we move it to production. So there will be three instances given to you with your own database and configurations. Now, this is exclusive to you, okay? ServiceNow is not sharing anything or any data of your instances with anyone else. Completely secure, completely private, okay? This provides strong isolation and flexibility for upgrade and customizations. Okay, so this is what we call as multi-instance architecture. So basically, in advanced scenarios, there is a concept known as domain separation. So within a company, if you see, there are options to further, separate the domains. Let's say in a company, there are few departments who want to separate data of one department to from another. In that case, this is also an option. But again, this is provided by ServiceNow, and it's a kind of separate application which we have to use. So domain separation is not a part of this architecture here, but if you want to learn it, we have depicted and explained each and everything in the channel itself. You can find domain separation video there, okay? But it's not a basic administration thing. So I hope you understand what is multi-instance architecture and what is this last layer. So all these four layers are working together to provide the services, right? If we have issue in any of this layer, it means something will not work right. And being an admin, it's your responsibility to find that. So that's why understanding each and every layer, concept of each and every layer is very important for an admin. So now one end-to-end flow. So when a user creates an incident, okay, this is our use case. The user interact with the form in the UI. So you log in here, we'll go to incident. You clicked here. So whatever is coming in front of you is a UI. Okay. So that is the first layer, which is user interface layer. That form belongs to incident management application in the application layer. Obviously, this is a simple form until unless, or it is of no use if we do not know what is the context, business context of this one. So for this one, the business context is this is a form of incident. Okay. And once I fill up the details and all and right click and save here, what is happening? Let me save it. Okay, let me now save it. So what happened here? What is happening in this round and round and round? So now the core functionalities of this now platform is being used, and now this record is as saved in the database with incident table. Okay, so now on clicking save, the platform layer handles the security check, workflow, data storage, incident table, and may send notifications. So based on the security, based on the workflow, based on the data model, based on the other automations, now all these things are now empowering this, right? Making this business process as simple as they had previously, because this is an incident which is interruption to service. In an enterprise, somebody feel that I'm not able to access a particular system, they immediately reaches to ServiceNow, created this incident, saved it, okay? And then what happened? That particular team who is looking after such issues will get notified. They immediately, assign someone there, and that person will work on this and resolve the issue. So what is happening? It's a kind of balle balle for the organizations, right? Enterprises are now happy because their issues are now resolved in record time, in very, very short time, as compared to their previous operation. Because of this ultimate tool of ServiceNow, everything is automated in place. You can do n number of customization. You can add your own workflow, your own notification, your own field based on your business logic. Okay, so this is the use of this particular platform. This is the complete flow. Now, finally, all of this executes on the underlying infrastructure and instance model, where ServiceNow hosts and operate isolate instance in its cloud. So obviously, all this data is going ultimately where? In the infrastructure. Okay, table of ServiceNow, a database where all these things are in. These are there in the data center of ServiceNow. So all these four layers completely talking about the architecture of ServiceNow. I hope, ladies and gentlemen, this is clear to you now. Okay, if you have any doubt, let me know in the comment sections. But I don't think you will have any doubt. Okay, please encourage your friends to get this amazing membership, which I have just, opted on, because I am going to give you content which you have not seen anywhere else. So till then, see you next video. Thank you so much.